This is Sky News.
The government is not interested in attacking any one media organisation or in seeking to reduce the necessary scrutiny of the political process that is at the heart of a functioning democratic media.
Communications Minister Stephen Conroy has announced an independent inquiry into print and online media in Australia. The inquiry will be headed by former Federal Court Judge Ray Finkelstein QC and will look at the impact of technological change and the 24-hour news cycle on newsrooms. Current codes of media practice will be re-examined with an emphasis on how the media responds to complaints. The Greens have welcomed the inquiry, but the opposition firmly rejects it.
This is just a political stunt by a government that is bitter about being criticised by the media, in particular by News Limited.
The Catholic priest at the centre of alleged sexual abuse allegations within the church in Adelaide has categorically denied all claims. Father Ian Dempsey was named by Senator Nick Xenophon in Parliament as allegedly involved in the rape of a trainee priest in the 1960s. Father Dempsey says the claims are totally unsubstantiated, took place 45 years ago, and did not involve anyone underage.
It is going to turn out to be the longest political suicide note in Australian history.
Yeah! Opposition leader Tony Abbott has taken aim at the Prime Minister as Parliament begins, debating government legislation setting up a carbon pricing regime. Mr Abbott accused Prime Minister Julia Gillard of sabotaging her predecessor Kevin Rudd, at least in part because he sought to introduce an emissions trading scheme. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Julia Gillard has warned Coalition MPs they'll be harshly judged by history if they don't vote for the Coalition's carbon tax legislation.
Can't hide from the future, you can't wish it away. There's only two choices, either you step up and shape it or it shapes you.
And Australian Defence Minister Stephen Smith has condemned Taliban attacks in Afghanistan, which have killed at least 11 people in Kabul's diplomatic district. No Australians were hurt, even though the Australian embassy is not that far away, where Taliban gunmen with suicide vests and rockets launched coordinated attacks on the US embassy and NATO's headquarters. Mr Smith says that while the 5 hours of gunfire have been dramatic on television screens, the Taliban have failed to threaten Afghan security. And in sport, Carlton are still searching for answers to Matt Cruise's mystery foot ailment, which is likely to rule him out of their knockout AFL semi-final against West Coast. Blues coach Brett Ratton admits time is running out for Cruiser and utility Bryce Gibbs, who has a shoulder injury ahead of Saturday's finals. And meanwhile, Newcastle winger Akila Uate has been recognised for a stellar season, taking out the Rugby League Players Association Players Award. Manly's Daly Cherry Evans took out the Rookie of the Year award. And a quick look at tomorrow's forecast. Showers at the far southwest and far southeast, mostly sunny elsewhere.